So I've got one of the coolest external monitors on the market right now. What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here, and today we are checking out the FlipGo by JSAUX. I reviewed JSAUX products in the past with my ROG Ally, but this is their first big step outside of the handheld gaming industry. It started as a Kickstarter, but it blew past its initial goal, and now it's here. So let's check it out. Before we get started, I just want you to know that JSAUX did send out the FlipGo for me to review. However, they are not seeing this video before it goes live, and it has zero impact on my thoughts on it. Diving into the FlipGo, first off, you have a couple purchase options depending on what size and quality you're looking for. The FlipGo comes in 3 different screen sizes: 13.3 inches, 15.6 inches, and 16 inches. And there are varying screen resolution options that range from 1080p up to 1440p. The price reflects those differences, so you can take a look at the one that best fits your setup and budget. The 13.3 inch model is ideal for those who want something ultra portable, while the 17.3 inch version is perfect if you're looking for a more immersive experience and maybe a monitor that you'll leave set up at a desktop all the time. Each model does come with a few different accessory options, which is great because it allows you to customize the setup to your liking, but there are additional accessories that we'll talk about in a little bit that you can purchase for your monitors. The base package includes the FlipGo monitor and a basic stand that folds, but you can opt for additional stands like the FlipGo magnetic stand, which gives you a bit more stability, or the FlipGo protective case, which doubles as a stand and gives you that extra layer of protection when you're traveling. Now, taking a look at the screens, the quality is top notch. It has bright, vibrant colors and crisp details, and I was really impressed with how versatile it actually is. Whether you're using it as a secondary monitor or part of a dual screen setup, it's super convenient. It's about the size of one monitor, but you're getting 2 usable screens, so it actually saves a lot of desktop space. But it does have a fold down the middle, so I wouldn't personally use it for a single monitor setup, but it does work best as a secondary monitor. So essentially it's like having 2 monitors in one without the extra bulk. Material-wise, JSAUX did not skip. It feels solid, it's not cheap at all, and aesthetically I think it looks great. One cool thing is that it does use a VESA mount, which means that you can throw it on pretty much any monitor arm if you're not feeling the supplied options. The VESA compatibility opens up a lot of flexibility if you're someone who likes to tweak your setup or if you're working with a more constrained space. Setting it up is super easy. I have most of the mounting accessories that you can get from JSAUX for this review, but you really only need to purchase what you'll actually use. My favorite is actually the included stand that unfolds, that you can set it up vertically or horizontally. And while that stand is solid, you can get something like the FlipGo magnetic stand, which is a great upgrade. It does hold the monitor pretty securely, although the magnetic strength is a little questionable at times, but it does give you a little bit more confidence that it has a better height and it holds it a little bit better. One of my favorite things about the monitor is that you only need one cable to connect both screens, which does keep things nice and tidy. And while it is fairly portable, there are better options on the market if you're looking to travel light with an external monitor, but when you're comparing its versatility versus its portability, it does definitely make up for it when you're actually using it. I do want to mention that if you are interested in learning more or picking one up for yourself, I do have an affiliate link in the description. They help the channel grow, but they don't cost you anything extra. So diving into what I like and don't like about it, I'll start out with the pros. The screen quality is great. I'm really happy with how clear and crisp the image is, and as you can see from some of the footage here, it just looks really good on camera and it looks just as good in person. I also love the versatility of these. It can easily double as a second and third monitor, taking up the space of one, which is a huge win in my book. The materials themselves are solid and the whole setup is just clean, and then when you add the VESA mount compatibility on top of it, you've got a whole bunch of different ways to configure this setup. And speaking of which, setting it up is a breeze and it's super easy, and the fact that you only need one cable for 2 screens is just genius. And touching back on the travel point, having a monitor that easily folds up to take up minimal space is a major plus. You might have seen my UPerfect monitor that I reviewed a couple of months ago, that it wasn't the greatest for traveling because it's so big, but there are great single screen monitors that you can travel with that barely take up any space. But for this one to take up about the same amount of space as that UPerfect monitor but actually have 2 screens on it is a really big plus. The only thing to consider is that if you have early 2020 MacBook Airs and Pros, they can only support 1 extra monitor, so even though it's 2 in 1, it still will only support 1 screen at a time if you're an early Mac user in the 2020s. But while there's a lot of things that I like about the FlipGo, it's definitely not perfect. The magnet that's supposed to keep it attached feels a bit hit or miss sometimes, and I found it pretty easy to knock it off the stand by accident. And that stand itself does wobble a bit, especially at max height, which is not ideal, so that's one of the reasons that I prefer leaving it on the little flip stand that it comes with. It does also come with the flip out portfolio, which is great, but it's kind of a pain to learn how to use it at first, and I really had to analyze analyze the instructions to figure it out, but once you do use it, it's actually pretty nice to have that. So I would recommend either the stand that it comes with or the FlipGo like portfolio that you can purchase separately. Also, the bezel is a little bit thicker than I would like, which can be a little distracting if you're really focused on the screen. And while the portability is decent, I'd like to see a little bit thinner of a bezel so that you have the same footprint of the monitors, but they have a little bit larger screen size. And while the portability is decent, if you're someone who is constantly on the move, then I would say that there are more compact options out there for you. That said, if portability isn't in your top priority, the FlipGo's versatility makes up for it super well because it's great on any standalone desktop. So overall, I really do like these monitors. The FlipGo offers tons of configurations depending on what you need, and it makes it really versatile as a piece of tech. They're kind of like this hybrid monitor that can be used for travel with a carrying case, but I really do think that they're better situated for a stationary setup. There is absolutely room for improvements, like making the magnet more reliable and tightening up the stand, but for what it is, it's a unique product from a company I've come to like very much, and so I do recommend it if it's something that you're interested in. If it fits your budget and it fits your needs, and I think it's definitely worth checking out, so remember the links in the description. And then the different size options, the solid build quality, and the overall flexibility make it a really strong contender if you're on the market for an external monitor. And if you're someone who appreciates a clean and clutter-free setup, the one cable solution is going to be a game changer for you because typically external monitors need 2 cables per monitor, so this is definitely a better way to do it. And a great example of that was actually the dual screen Domi fan monitors that I also reviewed a couple of months ago, where you need like 4 to 5 different cables to make those 2 monitors work. Ugh, I don't like that. I want to make sure that it's just 1, maybe 2 wires at the most so that I can keep my setup minimal. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like JSAUX as a company and their products, and have you ordered their ROG Ally stuff before? Or do you think that this monitor is pretty cool and it's something that you might check out? And if you haven't already, be sure to consider subscribing and joining the Freaky Tech family and hitting that like button, as it really helps the algorithm and the channel grow. And I'd love for you to be a part of this year's journey of trying to hit 20,000 subscribers or family members by the end of the year. But thank you so much for stopping by and spending some of your day with me. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time.